This is the best game LeBron's played all year. It's the best game I think he's played since Game 1 of the NBA Finals, a game where, oddly enough, afterwards he broke his hand, and in this game, Rajon Rondo breaks his hand. This was LeBron not only fully engaged, LeBron having a higher usage rate. I'm sure once we see the final advanced numbers, we'll see the ball was in his hand more than it's been in many games throughout this season.
Yes.
But also, when you see LeBron scored 40-plus, even if you didn't watch the game, and I know it was a 10:30 East Coast start, so if you're watching right now, you might not have watched it, you know one thing happened. His jump shot was falling. Like, listen, LeBron, if his jump shot is not falling, is going to score around 25 points. And if his jump shot is falling, he's going to score 35-plus. That is what has been the case almost the entirety of his career, certainly the last decade of his career. His jump shot was falling last night, and it was his jump shot that turned this game around. See, that the Lakers were down in the second quarter significant. It was 45-32. Portland, halfway through the second. The Lakers finished the second quarter on a 27-11 run that was punctuated by a LeBron 30-footer and then a LeBron 28-footer to close out the second quarter, and then they dominated from there. He was great on both ends. I think 3 blocks to go along with the offensive performance. But the biggest story was his shot was falling. That's how he got to the 44.
His shot was falling. He was playing almost like a point guard, point forward, because he had the ball in his hand. His usage rate was way, way up. This was the most comfortable I've seen him in the Laker lineup, and it's because he had the ball in his hand as much as he did. And it's the best game that I've seen him play since the playoffs. He had a number of games in the playoffs. I think it's the irony to the broken hand in game number 1 was very, very similar to this game. On the defensive side, he was really special. As far as a help defender, as an individual ball defender, you can see he was fully engaged at this. And at the rim, he played a game like he hadn't played in a long time. He deflected a couple dunks at the rim during the course of the game that not only from a momentum standpoint from these young guys, seeing one of the greatest players do it, I think he sent an overall message. If they're going to win, it's going to take that type of energy. I hadn't seen him play or be engaged like that in a long time.
And to that point, Josh Hart, after LeBron had a block at the rim, had one of his own. Josh Hart's not meeting a lot of people at the rim. I also think the opponent matters here, Jenna, because Portland, in a schedule quirk, they've played Portland 3 times already. They then play them on the final game of the regular season. But so 3 times in their first 14 games they play Portland. First game of the year, they play Portland, and Portland beats them significantly. They play them a week and a half ago, and they beat Portland by a little bit. They play them last night, and they beat Portland significantly. So with this same team, a Portland team that's very good, a Portland team that right now has the 2nd-best record in the West, they have been almost a measuring stick. Game 1, not competitive. Game 2, very close game the Lakers won. Game 3, the Lakers end up pulling away in the second half.
You've explained to me and to the audience the difference between what LeBron can do and what the Lakers' plan is so that he can get everyone involved. Him having the ball so much, did that deviate from the Laker plan at all, or is this the overall kind of plan, game plan that would work both for LeBron and for getting the young guys involved?
Well, I think one of the reasons he only took 19 shots, so he had the ball in his hand a lot, but it was about the shot falling. Like, you see the 44 points, it wasn't because he took 28 shots. It was because he took 6 threes, which is about what he's averaging for the year, but instead of making 1 or 2 of them, because he'd been struggling from 3, he made 5 of them, and what that opened up for his team.
Yeah, and how those threes came. Most of those threes came in a pick and roll, and they were going underneath the screen, and LeBron was just stepping back, just pulling it. Now, a couple of times, he was feeling so good, he came across midcourt, took 2 bounces, and let it launch. So he was feeling his jump shot, and it was necessary to how they were playing, and it did open up the court for the Lakers.
I know we're going to talk more about the Wilt milestone later. I also got the feeling, once he got hot in the second quarter, LeBron knew, if I get to 39, I pass Wilt.
You think he knew that?
Oh, I'm certain he knew it. And so,
well, it's almost impossible because as a team, the Lakers, they have printed stuff coming up. The players read it. LeBron knows where he's at on a lot of these categories when he can get closer. Now, if he was 100 points away, it wouldn't have been brought to his attention. But it's in his normal studying for the game plan that he would know this number.
And so I don't think he went into the game saying, this is the game I pass Wilt. But once he had the second quarter and then the third quarter that he had, I think it was clear, oh, this is going to be the game I pass Wilt.
And then to get it on the free throw, which was
that was nice.
Very, very nice. All right, we should talk about Rajon Rondo. How concerning are you about this if he does have to miss significant time?
Well, Rondo's a big part of what they're doing. And yesterday didn't have the spectacular game, but his overall leadership, his knowledge of basketball, LeBron James is very comfortable with Rondo on the court in critical moments. And the Lakers don't have the luxury where they have Lonzo. He's ready to take over the team and play 40 minutes and can be effective in all parts of his game. They need to platoon that position if they're going to compete, especially with the best point guards in the West. They have to have a Rondo who's healthy because Lonzo's not ready to fill that void and do it by himself yet.
Here's the positive from Rondo being out. And you guys know Rondo was the offseason addition after LeBron that I liked the most, more than I liked JaVale or Lance, certainly Beasley, who's not even in the rotation. I really like the addition of Rondo. I would be much more concerned for the Lakers if it was Lonzo missing a month, even though Rondo right now is better than Lonzo. Because Lonzo needs the time. And now Lonzo's going to be forced into it in a softer part of their schedule. Also, you can now carve out a few more minutes of Brandon Ingram at point guard, which because he's so tall seems odd, but he's a good playmaker in spurts in that role. I want to see how this team adjusts without Rondo, and LeBron having this night compounded with Rondo now being out, you're going to see LeBron having to do more.
Yes.
And that's good for the team. Like there have been times where if you're a basketball bettor, you see a teammate of a great player go down, and that team actually become a bigger favorite. Because what that means is in that night's game, their best players are going to get the ball more, have to do more. In this time, I think this will maybe get LeBron more quickly fully locked into the season. And it is an important opportunity for Lonzo because we haven't seen the jump from year 1 to year 2 for Lonzo. A lot of people have thought that's because he's not playing as many minutes. He had the injury. Okay, so now Lonzo, it's important that he play a quality 30-some minutes a night.
We can admit that LeBron James had a great game last night. Would you look at this Laker team and said, this is a good team? The way they played last night, would you say that is a good team? If they could just hone that, they'll be all right?
They have the chance to be good. They have the potential to be good, but they have to be more consistent on the defensive end. They have to be able to get some type of shot making to build space to court. A lot of that came from LeBron last night. And Tyson Chandler being there, it's a great sign. He's doing great things in the minutes that he's playing. He did fill a void. So they do have the potential. Right now, they're just a little above 500. They have the potential to be a good team.
It is worth noting, though, right now, the Western Conference, it's very clear who the 4 best teams in the East are going to be. We know. We don't know the order, but we know it's going to be Toronto, Philly, Milwaukee, and Boston. The West, it's Golden State, Portland, and some question marks. And Portland, I even would include in the question marks. The Lakers now, having won 6 of 7, they're 1 game out of the 3rd seed in the West. So despite the slow start, they're only 1 game back of a round where a lot of people thought their ceiling of finish in the West was. And then, I mean, Orlando, Miami, Cleveland, the Orlando again in their next 5 games. So they have the opportunity to compile a bunch of wins.
Be careful with Orlando. They were a little tough for your boys last night.
Yeah,
they were tough on Philly.
It's no easy win there in Disney.
You're right about that.
Look, he's put together one heck of a career, and in this year to be able to do as much as he's doing, how impressive was this latest accomplishment for LeBron?
Well, every name he passes on this list, because there's only 4 left to pass. You mentioned he'll get Jordan later this year. He'll get Kobe probably at the very beginning of next year, and then he'll have to wait a little bit before he gets Karl Malone and Kareem. This will end up being the most impressive individual line on the resume that you guys know I believe will include greatest player ever. The NBA's all-time leading scorer, scoring was not his best trait. Because I don't think anyone thinks LeBron's best trait is scoring. And right now, he's done it more than Wilt. He's done it more than everyone in league history except for 4 guys. LeBron is currently 11th all-time in assists. Okay? He's going to finish most likely 3rd all-time, behind only Stockton and Jason Kidd. Wilt is 74th in assists. MJ is 44th. Kobe is 30th.
Wow.
Chris Paul's about to pass, or someone's about to pass him. I forgot who. Karl Malone's 55th, and Kareem is 42nd.
Wow.
And so it's the scoring and the passing that individually make his numbers so untouchable compared to anyone else. We've never seen this type of combo, and he's now going to just keep ticking up the list, both of those lists simultaneously over these next 3.5 years.
Yeah, it's a tremendous accomplishment. When you look at what he would call the opportunity, he didn't call it pressure. looked back at the Nike commercial and said, hey, what do you think in 2003 about all the pressure on you? And he just smiles and like, oh, that's what everything that I've heard about LeBron has been able to basically come true. And it's from he was 14 when someone told me about him and start watching him, this kid from Akron, Ohio. And I love the fact, too, that even after the game, he talked about that Lakers jersey. He's going to send that back to his school where he has the academy
The
that
I
he
Promise
has there.
School, yep.
Yeah, in Los Angeles. So he's done so many things that would just shock people, but to do it in the Lakers uniform. Last year when he's getting ready to be a pending free agent, if everyone wanted any insight of where he might go, look at the scoring list. There's 6 names on that list. All right? 5 of the 6 players, they all finished their career with the Lakers. So if the basketball guys were going to have their way, LeBron James couldn't go anywhere. He couldn't go to the Knicks, couldn't go anywhere else. He had to come see the Lakers because that's the way the basketball guys
It's
have
crazy.
it. Wilt Chamberlain, Karl Malone joined the others late in their career. Last team they played for was the purple and gold, and it's nice to see LeBron in it last night go past Wilt.
It is nuts that now of the top 6 scorers of all time,
5 of them played.
everyone but Jordan, well, not just played, but assuming LeBron's not going to have another move, finished their careers as Lakers. There are certain elements. So, like last night, 44, 10, and 9 with 3 blocks in a regulation game. We know that, hey, that's a really good game. Like, Dusty pointed this out. I hadn't seen this. He's the first guy in league history to have that stat line with that many made threes in a regulation game. And it's just like, oh, that's a really good LeBron game on a Wednesday night in the regular season. In a year where people already were starting to question, hey, was the best of it past him? Like, are we starting to have a discussion about who the best player in the world is? No, we're not. And he's going to need to become the all-time leading scorer. Listen, he's 22-18 behind Kareem. He's 22-18 behind Kobe, pardon me. He's 6,900 behind Kareem. It's going to take him about 280 games. It's about the same amount of games it's going to take him to become past Magic Johnson and everyone else on that list in assists except for Stockton and Kidd. If he plays these full 4 years, he's got to average 25 and 7, which would be beneath his career average in points and assists. 25.7 assists over the next 3+ seasons. That's where he's going to be. That's an unimpeachable statistical mark to go along with, oh yeah, in the playoffs, first in points, steals, and minutes, 3rd in assists, 6th in rebounds, 15th in blocks. Like the playoff counting stats, he already is at the top of the mountain. The regular season counting stats, he's climbing up that mountain every single week, and it's going to be a new name. He'll pass Kobe in a Laker uniform. I hope that game happens at Staples.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.